It's like the fire is getting put to our tails, right? Where we can take off and surrender and be wild and free and just get away from that destructive fire, right? Get away from the fire that wants to consume us and to control us. Remember, you're here to play, you're here to create. Less consumption, more creativity. And if you are going to consume what's digestible and nourishing and healthy for you, mind, body, and spirit. Peace and love, beautiful beings. This is Layla Wind, the chosen goddess. Welcome to my channel, Let Go My Ego, where we talk about all topics that have to do with letting go of the ego and letting our heart and our soul lead the way. So I hope you can hear me okay. We're right next to an airport at a beautiful sunny beach in Southern California. So I'm really, really happy to be here. And today I want to talk about the Chinese Lunar New Year that's coming up on Tuesday, February 17th. And it is the year of the fire horse, which is going to be just a powerful, powerful, transformative, passionate year of just a lot. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is the intuitive guidance that I've received, the inner wisdom that I received, as well as the research I have done. And so I have my notes as usual. And again, please forgive me if you hear the planes coming by. Also, if you hear my son here making a lot of noise, please forgive us. He's noisy, but it's okay. That's what children do, and he's just free to be himself, right? Speaking of freedom, this video is entitled Freedom Through Fire. Yes, the year of the fire horse. So let's get into it, because the horse truly represents freedom, represents independence, it represents movement, it represents travel, represents momentum. It's also steady. It represents a wild spirit. It represents passion, which is amazing. And when we talk about the energies of fire, that's transmutation, that's transcendence. It can be destructive, right? But it's not just about destroying things. It's also about renewal. It awakens and ignites something within you, right? Fire is also passionate as well, just like the horse. Fire can also represent detachment and ego death, and also alchemy, and it's exciting. So we're going to combine those energies of the horse with the energy of fire to talk about what this new year has in store for us as a collective, which is really, really beautiful. So I want to talk about, I always like to, before I get into the nitty gritty of things, before I get into the messages that I received in terms of this year and what this year is going to entail for us as a collective, I always like to kind of give a little background and education in terms of like, what does fire represent? And also just some other intuitive guidance that I received. So, and again, I want to send you all some energy from beautiful, beautiful California. So let me show you all the ocean vibes, gorgeous. And let me give you some sun vibes. Gorgeous. So I hope you were able to see that okay. But I had to give you some of those vibes from the beautiful ocean and the beautiful sun. So fire can also turn into plasma, which is the fourth state of matter. So speaking of the sun is plasma because it is so much heat. And so when we talk about the fourth state of matter, plasma can actually be considered electrified consciousness. And so that electrified consciousness is also within us. We also have an inner sun, and we also have an ability to conduct plasma for healing, for transformation, for empowerment, for love, for everything, right? Because we are powerful beings, divine beings of the highest love and light. So this year, we're going to feel the burn, right? We're going to feel the burn. And what that really means is that a lot of us are going to go through amazing ego deaths this year. It's an unfolding. It's an unfolding from last year, of the year of the snake. It keeps unfolding. So we're going to feel the burn, all the triggers, all of the uncomfortability, all of the getting out of our comfort zone. All of that is going to be feeling the burn. We're going to be feeling, like I said, a lot of ego death. And the ego becomes awareness, like pure awareness this year for so many of us who allow ourselves to surrender and to trust in the divine and to feel the burn. And so when we feel the burn, that is the form of surrender, just allowing the burn, whatever is burning inside of you, to fester and to engulf you, metaphorically speaking, engulf your inner sun, engulf your inner being with love and passion and excitement and fervor for this year and for your life and for your gifts. And that is what we're here to do. And also to feel the burn again of what just needs to be transcended, and also what needs to be changed and transmuted. So transmuted is different from transcendence, because transmutation is more about change and altering something. But when you're transcending something, it's not about changing anything, you're rising above it. But fire has both of those beautiful, beautiful attributes. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about feeling the burn. So a lot of that is going to be coming up this year. And so again, with plasma being electrified consciousness from a spiritual level, understand that we have an biomagnetic biofield around us. We have a biomagnetic electrical field around us, and that needs to be purified for so many of us. And we can purify that by working on our nervous system. We can purify that by working on our emotional stability. And we can purify it through heart-brain coherence. So heart-brain coherence just means heart-brain harmony, where the heart and the divine mind, because there's our ego mind, right? And then there's the divine mind. When we have that heart-brain coherence, that is divine mind, because the mind definitely serves a purpose, and it's very beautiful, and we need to use it. But the problem is it's running amok for so many of us. But those three things specifically is how we strengthen our bioelectrical magnetic field around us. And so I also want to talk about now is that there's two types of fire. And it pretty much comes down to this: love or fear. So there's the destructive fire, and then there's the sacred fire. Either way, we're going to be feeling a lot of these fiery elements this year. So I want to talk about what the destructive fire is, and again, how it relates to the energy of the horse. So when we're combining again the energy of fire in the horse, we are looking at both of what their attributes are, both of what their essence is, both of what their spiritual wisdom is, as powerful totems, and also in combining them and to see how it applies in our life. But we will see as this year unfolds, and you will also be able to see just through your intuitive knowing, your intuitive guidance system. And so the destructive fire, that is chaos, that is anger as rage. And mind you, anger can be sacred, but we'll talk about that on the sacred fire side. But anger as rage, like uncontrollable anger, that is the destructive fire. And I'm talking about that fire within and how that fire shows up. Ego dominance, right? Dominating through the ego. And also your nervous system being haywire, not really feeling safe, feeling overstimulated all the time, feeling kind of like, again, like you're about to combust inside. So that is the nervous system going haywire. And I do encourage you all to look at my last video, which I talked about the nervous system in great detail in terms of like being distracted. I didn't talk about it in great detail. It was more about distractions, and maybe this is guidance for me to do a video on how to regulate the nervous system. But even something as simple as sitting at the beach and being in the sun and having solitude is a way to regulate the nervous system. And just playing and just having peace in your life, peace with yourself. Even holding these flowers is a beautiful vibration to regulate the nervous system. So yeah, those are destructive fires. So they're ego driven. And when we talk about the sacred fire, that is conscientiousness. That is that inner will. That is your inner sun, your solar plexus that is healthy. again, working in tandem with your heart. So the sacred fire is a release. The sacred fire is a purification. The sacred fire is a sacred offering. A sacred offering, like where you're putting something into the fire and you're letting it burn as a sacred offering to, again, transcend it or transmute it, or both. And also, I think I said surrender, but yes, transcending and transmutation. And so those are the ways that the sacred fire shows up. And so this year, we're going to be choosing again. You're choosing love or fear. So you can transform through the destructive fire, or you can transform through the sacred fire. But the problem with the destructive fire is that it can literally destroy you if you allow it. It can also be a powerful catalyst for alchemy within yourself if you can catch it. But in order to catch it, you have to be self-aware. And when you're self-aware, then you will move into the love. You'll move into the love frequency. You'll move into the sacred fire. So that is a little background into the energy of fire and how that's going to show up this year. It's going to be a destructive fire or a sacred fire this year. So now let's talk about some of the messages and guidance that I received. And so this year there will be a soul awakening. This lunar year, a soul liberation for many of us. It's going to be a massive soul awakening. A lot of people are going to, because of the energies, the fiery energies that are going to be coming up this year in politics, in the news, in our personal life. And rest assured, if it's politics or the news and media, it's going to be the destructive fire. But again, a lot of people are going to wake up and say and realize, you know, where we have been living a lie, where we are, you know, we're meant to be free. We are here to be free. We're going to realize that not only are we meant to be free as individuals, the whole world is meant to be free. So a lot of people are going to be waking up and saying, you know, I want more freedom. Freedom meaning peace of mind, freedom in my life, freedom to do what I want in terms of like, and when do what you want does not mean I'm causing chaos to others or chaos to myself. But when I say freedom to do what you want, again, it's that heart, mind, divine mind coherence. So freedom, when you're truly free from the inside, you're not causing harm to none, including yourself. So that's going to be happening this year majorly. It's going to be a major soul awakening for this Lunar New Year and soul liberation for many through the sacred fire or the destructive fire, which is kind of, you know, the path that's going to lead to a lot of suffering. But unfortunately, a lot of souls are choosing that, and that's okay. But the beautiful thing is that you can choose in any moment to go back to love, and that alone will change the trajectory, of your life and be able to give you the peace and the wherewithal to move forward with confidence. The next thing is that there's going to be a lot of ego transcendence for inner freedom. There's going to be a lot of ego death this year. Many illusions were shed last year from the year of the snake. I feel like the year of the snake opened us up to a lot of illusions. And I feel like this year we're going to have a shift in identity. And I feel like this year we're going to have a shift in perspective of what it even means to have an identity. I've been coming into an awareness that I feel more liberated with no identity. And let me be clear. I am human, yes. We're in a human experience. I did come into this human experience as a woman, as a Black woman, as an empowered woman. Wasn't always empowered, but I'm definitely empowered now and even becoming even more empowered. And even the things that I do, like the labels. I'm an intuitive. I am an abundance retreat facilitator. I am one of the 144,000 key holders. And again, all of that's beautiful. But I'm realizing these are just descriptions of how my soul chose to show up. These are not my identity. My identity is just is. It's beyond anything that the human mind can comprehend. It really takes us to tap into the divine mind. So I feel like your identities are going to be challenged this year. Your perception of self. And that's all going to be, again, through the fire. to help and assist with your liberation so that you can move forward steadfast and with grace and be wild and free to just be you, the most purest form of you. So that's really powerful. There's going to be a lot of rebellious and revolutionary energy this year as well. It's going to be a lot of revolutionary and rebellious energy. So watch out for that. Probably more protests. There may be even more wars and chaos. And to be honest, I do not support. I am not, when I say support, I'm not in alignment with all these protests and all the stuff that's going on in the world coming out into the streets. I know there's more effective ways. I feel there's more effective ways to shift the trajectory of this world rather than people going out there and fighting the systems that be like as a war, because you can get killed. It's just, I don't want you to die trying to fight the good cause. Rather, we want to die to the old self. We want to die to this false matrix. We want this false matrix to die to us so we can tap into the divine matrix. So I feel like there's a lot more effective ways, but because of all the anger, righteous anger, rightfully so, because again, the sacred fire is righteous anger. Because of all the anger, a lot of people are going to be reactive, and that's going to lead to a lot of more rebellions and even some revolutionary energy. But at the end of the day, what needs to happen will happen, and it's all for the highest and greatest good, even if that means, unfortunately, some deaths. But it doesn't have to be that way. And that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't have to be where we're putting ourselves in harm's way, or putting our families in harm's way, or our children, to make a point. There's other ways to prove your love and to change the world without falling for the trap, so to speak. I really feel like a lot of these protests are traps, energy traps as well, siphoning our energy and to put more fear in us. But needless to say, there's going to be a lot more of that this year, so watch out for that. There's also going to be an energy of enough is enough, kind of, again, unfolding off of the revolutionary and rebellious energy. But even on just a personal level, we have the collective level, but on the personal level, it's almost like what I seen last night was like a pot boiling over, right? Like it's getting so hot and fiery. And what happens when a pot boils over? And if it's still on the fire, you either have to take it off of the fire, or what it's going to do is going to disseminate, right? The water is going to disappear. And so there will be nothing left. And then the pot will eventually burn. And so I feel a lot of us are going to be boiling over in terms of like, enough is enough. Going to be tired of certain relationships, certain jobs, certain focuses on things that just, again, no longer serve us. And we're going to feel that very, very heavily this year as a collective. It's going to be just so much density and so much negativity that where it's like, I can't even feed into this anymore. Otherwise, or whatever it is, like I said, it could be a position or the people you're working with or the people that you're around, or again, it can go in any facet or area of your life. So just tune into where it applies for you, but just watch where you feel like you're about to boil over, where again, you need to take yourself off of that fire, but also honor the fire that's within you to see which direction do I want to go in, which direction do I want to focus in. So pay attention to that. That's going to be really powerful. Again, there's going to be also passion ignited this year, fueling your inner fire. A lot of people are going to really start putting a lot of their focus on their own dreams, their own desires. That's going to be the top priority, as it should, and as it should always be, because your passions, your heart and soul's desires is what's going to change the world for the better. It's what's going to help heal this planet. So yes, a lot of that's going to be ignited, but it's also going to be fueled. There goes the plane again. Sorry for all the noise. And again, my son, he can't help himself. So that inner fire and your passion is going to be ignited and fueled through either pain, again, the pain from the destructive fire, or from the bliss, pure bliss, from following your bliss. And that's really what it's all about. If you want to ignite your passions, follow your bliss. That's been a beautiful message that's been coming up here on our trip to California, is to chase your joy, focus on your joy. All is well, all this pain, all this suffering, it's very real in the human experience. And again, I don't ever want to undermine that. because I've been through pain and suffering in the human experience, and I wouldn't want nobody to tell me that's not real. It is real from a human perspective, but we can transcend that, right? We can rise above that, and that is the miracle. That is the beauty. Once we become aware and conscious that we don't have to stay in suffering, and we're not meant to. Listen, how can we spread joy and happiness and fun and play on this planet if we're not doing it ourselves? We have to embody it. And yeah, it's very serious out here in the world. But also what's serious is your happiness. That's very serious as well. Because again, how can you pour from an empty cup? How can you help others if you're not truly happy? All of us, right? So again, how is your passion and ignited passion going to be fueled, and that inner fire going to be ignited within you? Is it going to be ignited through suffering and pain and destruction? Or will it be ignited through bliss and joy and excitement and purity? Again, love or fear. It's your choice. So either way, it's going to awaken something inside of you. But I'm learning to choose the path of least resistance and learning to choose the path of least suffering, okay? You're going to have to be so self-aware and so self-honest with yourself. And unfortunately, it does take a lot of radical changes in your life to get to this level where you say enough is enough. I'm ready to risk it all. Speaking of that, yes, let's move into that. This year is about risking it all, okay? That's coming up big time, right? It's came up for me in my personal life many, many times. That energy from my beloved ancestors, and it came from the Ancestor deck by Abiola Abrams. Shout out to you. And also, yeah, just risking it all, meaning that, again, you're fed up. I'm ready to risk it all for my happiness. I'm ready to risk it all to change this planet. And again, that may sound like a strong feat. And I want to be clear, you're not here to save the world, so to speak. We are, in a sense, but it's not about changing others. It's not about taking on other people's problems. It's not about suffering with others. We can be empathetic. We can be compassionate. We can feel others' pain without taking it on as our own. But what it is about is that, we're here to risk it all so that way we can create heaven on earth. Because when we create our own little pockets of heaven on earth, it's a domino effect, right? That is the domino effect to affect and to help all of us. So that's really, really powerful and really beautiful. So just tune into, again, that risking it all energy. What are you willing to risk? What are you willing to let go of? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give to the fire so that way you can have it all? Sometimes you have to give it all to have it all. And again, giving it all means just, again, anything that doesn't serve you, anything that doesn't bring you happiness. So tune into that. And last night when I was looking at the energies tuning into the energies of this reading, I seen a horse with like a fire at its tail. And it's like, and the horse took off, right? So because the horse is like, okay, either I'm going to sit here and let the fire consume me, or I'm going to take off. I'm going to take my power back. I'm going to let the wind put out this fire. I'm going to sit my butt. I'm going to run away from this fire and sit my butt in the grass, right? Or something, right? But what that symbolizes is that, yeah, again, kind of going back to the boiling hot water, it's like the fire is getting put to our tails, right? Where we can take off and surrender and be wild and free and just get away from that destructive fire, right? Get away from the fire that wants to consume us and to control us. Remember, you're here to play. You're here to create. Less consumption, more creativity. And if you are going to consume what's digestible and nourishing and healthy for you, mind, body, and spirit. All of your senses. We should be consuming things that help our senses to feel enlightened and enlivened, right? And to feel good and to feel energetic and vibrant. So yeah, tune in to, get your butt off the fire. Don't let it consume you. If something, they say, if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen, right? But what we're talking about here is the heat of the toxic matrix, right? Taking the heat of anything that is meant to destroy you or wants to destroy you. Run away from it. Get away from it. Do not let it destroy you. You have a right to say no more and have a radical block of anything that is trying to hurt you or destroy you or makes you feel uncomfortable. Let it go. Let it go. It's not worth it. And so that was the image that came to me last night, and I wanted to share that all with you. So I hope that gives you some perspective as well. And that's also tied into the risking it all energy as well. I'm not going to allow myself to burn in this fire and suffer. No, thank you. And oh, what's coming to me real quick, I know another quick metaphor, which was really sad, was when the 9/11 happened, and I was watching a documentary, and I seen some people who immediately, some people were told to stay in the building. Some people were told to stay in the building, like, oh, the building got hit, the police are on the way. But some people, they felt that fire to their butt, so to speak. Not literally yet, but they got out of there because they knew something wasn't right. They followed their intuition. And unfortunately, the people that stayed, those are the people that died and got destroyed in the rubble. It's really, really sad, but it's so amazing to see the people that followed their instincts. And again, the metaphor of like the fire being to your butt, they said, no, 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 I'm not going to be consumed in this fire. They ran like the wind. And God bless, oh my God, the people that survived. I know it's traumatic, and I hope they don't have survivor's guilt. But anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent with that, but that is a prime example of like why it's so important to, like, when you feel the destructive fire, instead of letting it consume you, get out of there, because you're worth your happiness, you're worth your peace, you're worth your love. And so that's really, really powerful. So also know that when fire seemingly destroys, seemingly it represents a completion of a chapter, and usually a purification through fire. That is the renewal. So just know this year, if you're seeing something just destroyed and consuming itself in the fire, basically where it feels like you're engulfed in flames, metaphorically speaking, in your life, or that you're having an ego death, right? But you don't know, but it's so uncomfortable, which can also be a dark night of the soul, right? And also can feel a lot of triggers coming up. It just feels like some people literally like you're going to die. If something like that is happening into your life, just recognize it's purifying itself, and it's renewal. It's renewal for something better in your life, right? I can attest, and I can be a witness firsthand of all the miracles that happened in my life, because I eventually surrendered to the fire, even if it was destructive. And I was able to listen to the wisdom of the fire and to heed its wisdom and to move through it and come out on the other side just, again, so much more liberated, so much more empowered, and so honestly so grateful that it did happen. So have a shift, is that if that something feels like it's burning down in your life, or even something is burning down within yourself, that it's just purification, right? Think of it like the immune system. When you have a fever and your body becomes hot, that's a beautiful response from your body to kill any virus or bacteria that's in your body that needs to go. That's why your body is heating up. So it's the same thing, so it can purify itself. When people take the ginger shots, right, or the cayenne pepper shots, all these things needs to purify the internal body. Of course, you want to do that in micro doses, right? You don't want to do a lot, but because a little goes a long way. But anyways, those are examples of why the fire is so beautiful, and it can benefit us. It's all about perspective shift, right? So let's just change our perspective this year and empower ourselves. And I want to close now this video with a reminder that it's also a 1 year, because it's 2026. If you add up 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6, that is a 10, and 1 plus 0 is a 1. So that's all about unity. That's all about coming together. That's all about recognizing that you are whole as you are. You don't need anything or anyone to complete you. Even all your dramas, all your traumas, that's not you, but you are whole, even if you're broken. Even if you feel broken, because you're not really broken. It can feel that way, I get it, because we've all been through that to some degree, but you are not broken. You are healed, and you are miraculous, and you're a wonderful being of love and light. So know that this 1 year is also about new beginnings. It's also about setting new foundations So again, just keep that in mind too with this year of the fire horse, and how that's going to help us become more whole, to set new foundations, to be in a new beginning, to drop all the illusions of duality, recognizing that we are one, recognizing that you are whole, which is again so powerful. So I want to leave it there. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Again, my name is Layla Wind, Chosen Goddess. I'm so happy that you were able to tune in with me from the beautiful beach in Southern California. And I want to leave you with, on Tuesday, February 17th, or around that date, do some fire rituals, right? Anything that awakens the inner fire within you, or working with the fire, to help you also harness the energies of the fire horse. Remember, it's about liberation. It's about revolution. It's about rebellion. It's excitement. It's the wild energy. But again, give yourself lots of grace. Sometimes also that comes in the form of, sometimes the fire starts with just a little candle, right? A little small, simple candle. And remember that one little candle can burn the whole house down, right? So take with that message as you will. One candle flame can light 1,000,000 candles. One little light of fire can be a trailblazer. You are a trailblazer. So yes, tune into your inner fire. Maybe do a fiery workout, or maybe do like a fire ritual where you're burning a letter about what you want to release, or even what you want to receive into the fire. Doing some breath of fire. Breath work is also really good. If you don't know about breath work, look into that. It's called pranayama, but you can do breath of fire. There's so many ways to work with fire, so just do some research. I recommend working with the energies of fire, and just remembering that it's all for our liberation. This is a year of liberation, freedom through the fire. So yeah, it's going to be a powerful year, and I'm ready for it. I hope you're ready for it. And I'm being called to tell you all, turn off the news if you're watching the news, or if you're watching a lot of doom and gloom. Again, it's good to be aware, but again, don't be consumed by the fire. You're a powerful creator. You create the fire. Create a sacred fire, one that purifies the world, and you be on fire, okay? Let's focus all of our energy into creating peace and harmony. And yes, serving, if you have righteous anger, let it out. Speak your truth. Absolutely. Be unapologetic in that. But let it be for solutions. Let it be for a domino effect of excitement and love and light on this planet. So let that be what your sacred fire, your sacred rage is all about. So I'm sending you all so much love. Again, thank you for tuning into my channel. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe. Please leave a comment if any of this resonates with you. Hope you're able to hear me clearly with all of the noise in the background, but it is what it is. We're surrendering, right? All right, sending you all so much love. I'm sending you all powerful sacred fire from my inner flame to yours, and I just love you all so much. Even if I don't know you, I still love you. All right, now, peace and love. Namaste.